Game Time with Boomer Esiason. This week's guest is Georgetown Hoyas head coach and NBA Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing. Presented by Geico.
As a lifelong Knicks fan, I'll never forget the excitement I felt in 1985 when my favorite NBA team won the draft rights to a certain 7-foot center who led Georgetown to 3 Final Fours and the 1984 NCAA championship. Today's guest went on to become a towering figure in New York sports scene for 15 Hall of Fame seasons, and he is currently the head coach at his alma mater, Georgetown University. It's certainly my pleasure to welcome in my friend, Patrick Ewing. Patrick, great to see you. Welcome to Game Time.
Thanks, Boomer. I really appreciate it. It's been a long time.
You know, in April, you were diagnosed with COVID-19, and I remember hearing the stories, and I was sending you text messages back and forth. How was that experience, and how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling much better now. It was a rough experience. People shouldn't take it lightly. I was hospitalized for 5 days, but then I was able to quarantine at home. It's not just the fever, the temperature, the blood clot. It's also a mental component to it where, it's not only physical, it's mental. You just don't feel yourself after. And I didn't feel normal until about a month after.
Interesting you say that because Cam Newton was diagnosed with COVID-19 for the New England Patriots. Right. And many said that he was suffering from a thing that is called COVID-19 fog. So you can attest to that.
Right. I definitely can attest to that. And it took me a month before I started to feel myself again. I'm not sure if that was the same thing that he was battling, but I know it's definitely true.
You came to the States, Boston, back when you were 12 years old from Kingston, Jamaica. That had to be kind of an abrupt wake-up call, going to, of all places, Boston to go play basketball after coming from Kingston, Jamaica. What was the transition like for you?
It was a shell shock, going from 80 degrees and then coming to Boston where it was cold and snow. So it was definitely different. I thank my mother, my father every time we talk. That every time I go to their gravesite and talk to them, for giving us the family the opportunity to move to this country and where we were able to make a great life for ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, but your parents really insisted on you becoming educated, that they were disciplinarians in that regard. I know that personally from your story, but tell the folks out there just exactly how much of a stickler they were for you to get your education.
Oh, definitely. Come from the islands, a lot of people we're believing in hard work. And my mother, both her and my father, they never went to college. They didn't even finish high school. So, education was very important to them. They wanted to make sure all their kids went to college and graduated from college. And what's one of the things my mom made me promise that I would finish here at Georgetown and get my college degree. And unfortunately, she passed before she was able to see me accomplish this. But it was very important to them, and it's very important to me.
During all of this time that you guys moved to Boston, you dealt with just the amazing amount of racism, and you saw it firsthand, and you lived it. What did your parents tell you in regards to dealing with that?
The funny thing is, I never really brought it up to them. I never told them all the things that I was facing. Especially coming to Boston in the height of busing, that's when they started, busing kids from the inner city into the suburbs of Boston to go into the supposedly better school system. But just playing out in those suburban state areas of Boston, just hearing all the names and all the different things that were shouted to us, our bus being bricked, our tires being slit. It was rough, and it also helped to shape the person that you are.
Yeah, well, you certainly stand tall, Patrick, in regard to that. We're going to get into that in the next segment as we're just getting warmed up with the great Patrick Ewing. Stay with us as Game Time continues right after this.
You're watching Game Time with Boomer Esiason.
Welcome back to Game Time, everyone, where we are joined by the great basketball legend Patrick Ewing, who just told us one of the first times he experienced racism was when he moved to Boston. But the names that they called us, and I just used it to fuel myself to be better. And Patrick, we just touched on this, and who better to speak to where we are today in 2020 and how our athletes are dealing with racism and the George Floyd death up in Minneapolis. I'm just trying to think, for you standing in front of your players at Georgetown, trying to explain all of this to them, what is your message to them?
One of the things I try to talk to them about is that if there's going to be a change, their generation is the one that's going to change it. You know, they have to, use their platform to fight for their rights, to fight to try to end racism and systematic racism in this country, not only in this country but also in the world. But they just have to continue to use their platform while being safe, while making sure that they're not doing anything that's gonna put them in harm's way. But just using their platform to show the world that it's time for a change.
Do you ever share with your players your personal journey and what you dealt with while you were in high school and all the just disgusting parts of racism?
Sometimes we talk about it, but I try to put that in the back burner and just talk about what's going on now. It's time for this to stop, and it's time for not only people of color to take up the mantle, but also everyone. And that's the thing that I liked about all the things that were happening. It wasn't just people of color that was out there fighting for these rights or fighting for the change. It was everybody. People from all different walks of life was out there fighting for it. And that's the only way that there's going to be a change in this country.
I remember back when you, Magic, Larry, Michael, Isaiah, all the great players of the early 80s, late 70s were bringing the NBA back to the forefront because David Stern made you guys all into stars and knew that in order to get the eyeballs to the TV was to actually accentuate the stars of the league. Now the stars of the league, which are making $40 million, I might add, thanks in large part to you guys, are using that platform politically. Do you think that you would have done that in this day and age?
You know what? I'm not sure if I would have done it, but I applaud those guys. I applaud LeBron for stepping up and speaking out and all the different things that he's doing. The things that are going on in society, we have to stand up. We have to, make it known that we don't appreciate all the things that's going on and continue to fight.
Well said. We'll return more with Georgetown and Knicks icon Patrick Ewing after these messages.
You're watching Game Time with Boomer Esiason.
You can't with a shot blocker like Ewing take so much time. Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan, Michael Jordan.
One of the most famous images in college basketball history is when Georgetown coach John Thompson consoling Fred Brown after his bad pass cost the Hoyas a chance to win the 1982 NCAA title game against North Carolina. Another memorable moment occurred 2 years later. This time, Thompson's arms were spread wide apart, and there was a look of joy on his face as he embraced Brown following the championship victory over Houston. This past August, unfortunately, John Thompson passed away, just 3 days shy of his 79th birthday. And Patrick, I know that this was a towering figure in college basketball, but he almost was like a second father to you. Why did you choose Georgetown? Was it specifically because of John Thompson?
Yes, it was specifically because of John Thompson. I thought that all the other schools that I chose to visit, I would have gotten a good education there and I would have been a great player there. But I chose to come to Georgetown because of Coach Thompson. He's somebody that looked like me. I loved the way that he carried himself. I loved the way that he spoke. And I thought that he was someone that I could emulate as I continue to grow old.
Did he ever put you in the doghouse, the John Thompson doghouse, or were you above all that?
Everyone gets in the doghouse. Hey, look, I'm still waiting for him to open my door and coming in and cursing me out as he always does. No, he was a great man. He was a father figure, a role model. He's somebody that I cherish. Our relationship grew over the years, and he will be definitely deeply missed.
You know, I know you replaced his son there as head coach of Georgetown. Did you reach out to John, or did he reach out to you? And had you considered taking Georgetown if he didn't?
I did not. I wasn't thinking about coaching here at Georgetown until Coach Thompson reached out to me, and I told him, I said, Coach, they just fired Little John, and he's like, Patrick, we need to have a member of the family at the helm, and I'm part of the family, and I listened to what he had to say. I thought about it for a couple of days. I talked to some confidant I have in the NBA. And they told me, you know what, might as well. You have not gotten an opportunity here in the NBA to be a head coach as yet. So go ahead and try to get that one.
You know, it's amazing, Patrick. You paid your dues as an NBA assistant coach. I mean, you've done all the dirty work, all the things that are required that you would think that you would have gotten a shot at a job in the NBA. Any idea why that never came for you?
No, I really don't, and for every roadblocks that I got, I tried to just make sure that I learn from whatever mistakes that I might have stopped me from getting the job, and just continue to work and just trying to be the best coach that I can be. So when I was given that opportunity, that I wouldn't fail.
You know, it's kind of interesting. The Brooklyn Nets just hired Steve Nash. He's never coached a team in his life. And yet here he is, the head coach of an NBA basketball team. However, you go through all the different aspects of becoming a coach, and now you're the coach at Georgetown. Any anger towards the fact that a guy like Steve Nash would get a job without having any sort of coaching experience?
No, I can't worry about that. Steve is a great guy. He's a great player. He's a friend. And I wish him nothing but the best. But you know what? It is what it is, Boomer. All I could do is just continue to work and continue to do the best job I can. And now I am a head coach. I'm a head coach here at Georgetown University, and my goal is to get us to be the team that it was when I was here. Competing for titles and hopefully winning them one or two.
Here I am. I'm a high school recruit, and I'm being recruited by the University of Maryland, which has a great basketball program, beautiful building, and man, it's a great campus. And all of a sudden, I get to meet Patrick Ewing, head coach of the Georgetown Hoyas. Why should I come to Georgetown as opposed to go to Maryland?
To who?
Maryland. You remember Maryland?
I'm just playing with you. I know that's your alma mater, boo.
Yes,
but
I know.
I just think that Georgetown's a great school. Maryland's a great school. We have a rich tradition. Both schools have a tradition. I think that here you could get a great education and also great athletics. So we're blessed with both. You'll be coached by a person who has been in your shoes. Everything that you're trying to accomplish, I've already accomplished. I think that this would be the best place and the best fit for you as a young player to come play.
I just got a call from Maryland. They don't want me anymore. I'm coming to Georgetown to come play for you, Patrick Ewing. Very well said. All right, we'll be back for more in a moment with the great Patrick Ewing.
You're watching Game Time with Boomer Esiason.
Maybe the only team Patrick Ewing never made was the 1980 U.S. men's Olympic basketball team, which, by the way, never competed in Moscow due to the American boycott over the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. 4 years later, however, Ewing and Michael Jordan led Team USA to a gold medal on a squad that had no NBA players. Then, of course, came the 1992 Dream Team, and it was jam-packed with NBA royalty. Ewing, Bird, Pippen, Drexler, Malone, Stockton, Robinson, Barkley, Jordan, Magic, and Mullen. What a team, Patrick. What I want to ask you is, was it more satisfying winning the gold medal under Bobby Knight with no NBA players, or was it more satisfying to win the gold medal on the Dream Team?
Well, you know what? I thought that both experience was great. Playing in 84, myself, Michael, Chris Mullen, we were the only three guys who was able to be also on the Dream Team. So it tells you what type of a team that we had in 84. We had some great players on that team. The majority of the guys made it to the NBA and had a successful NBA career. But in 92, We were all superstars. We were all of us was all great, household name, led by Michael Jordan. But I'm not going to say that one ranks above the other. They're both great, and they're both. The reason is because that we were playing for the United States, playing for the country.
When did you realize that Michael was going to turn out to be as great as he did?
You know what? No one knew it. I didn't even know it. Even when we were playing in the Olympics, he was great. We all knew how good he was, but you just didn't know that he was going to be the best player to play in my era.
He was amazing, his heart and his desire. And your era had a lot of players like that, of course, Bird and Magic. And now you see today players trying to group up and go win championships together. I can't ever imagine you guys trying to do that back in the day.
Yeah, it's different era. We all try to compete against each other. We all try to kill each other. And even though we were friends, we didn't want to, team up. We wanted to try to get it done our way. But that's just the era that we're in now. Guys calling each other and telling them, "Oh, let's go play together." But that's the way it is, Boone. Yeah. Maybe I should have done that. I would have had me a couple of rings by now.
Yeah, actually, I think you did try to do that. If I heard your words right with Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway and the Run TMC and all of that stuff, did that not almost happen?
Yes, it almost happened.
So you tried to do it before they're actually doing it these days. Now, I also saw the documentary of the Dream Team. I thought it was amazing. And most of you guys, all to a man, say that the practices were much more taxing than the actual games were because you guys were all so competitive.
Everybody that was on that team, we're all alphas, so we're all great. So when you bring all alphas into a room, it usually don't work because everybody is just trying to show that I'm the best. Even though we were still doing that, we still knew what we had to do. We came together as a team to be able to whip everybody.
Patrick Ewing recently named his all-Knicks teammate squad. That would be John Starks, Charles Oakley, Larry Johnson, Allen Houston, and a tie between Charlie Ward and Mark Jackson. Great teammates, I'm sure, and great memories for you guys. Unfortunately, you did not win a championship. I got a couple questions for you, and you can't waffle. The one thing I know about Patrick Ewing is he doesn't waffle. When he's on the basketball court, he plays to win, and I want real answers here now, okay?
Right.
I'm going to give you a couple players. You're going to pick between the two players that you want on your team. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. Who you taking?
Wow.
Well, come on.
I'm going to pick Bill. He has 11 rings.
All right. Steph Curry, Oscar Robertson.
Woo. You're killing me there.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, I'll go with Steph.
All right. James Harden, Reggie Miller.
I'm going to go with James.
You better go with James because I can't stand Reggie Miller. He used to drive us crazy at the Garden. Pat Riley, Greg Popovich.
Well, Pop is a great coach, but I played for Riles, so I have to go with Riles.
All right. Coach K or John Wooden?
Oh, all right. I'll go with John Wooden.
Larry Bird, Kevin Durant.
Wow. Wow, you killing me there, Boom.
Yep. Come on, man.
I'm going to have to go with Larry.
All right, and here's the big one. Michael Jordan or, of course, LeBron James?
Of course, I'm going to go with Michael.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Now I have one other question for you. So you just listed all your great teammates at the Knicks when you played there. So you, Oakley, Starks, Houston, Johnson, Charlie Ward, and Mark Jackson, and your head coach is Pat Riley. And you show up to the gym, and in that gym, at your age, I will say, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, Bill Bradley, Dave DeBusschere, Earl Monroe, Dick Barnett, Cazzie Russell, and of course, the great Red Holzman is coaching them. How did they not sweep you guys?
Wow. Well, that was a great team. They won 2 championships. But, we still have a lot of heart. We still have a lot of fire. They may have ultimately won the game, but we were going to give them a run for the money.
Yeah, you wouldn't allow Walt Frazier to come down the center of the paint. I know that for sure. You know, Patrick, it's great talking to you. Our thanks to the great Patrick Ewing for joining us today, and to all of you for watching. I'm Boomer Esiason, and I'll see you again real soon right here on Game Time with Pro Football Hall of Famer Howie Long. Now, my Knicks ever going to be good again, Patrick?
I'm hoping so. My friend Tom is the coach there, so I'm hoping and praying that it works out for them.
I hope so, Patrick. I hope so.
Me too.